I'd like to say to you, yes, you showed up to see tonight a documentary about someone with a disability, but the sheer fact that you're here and supporting this is making the world a better place for everybody. So thank you very much. And I would like to now introduce a local celebrity that will soon be a national celebrity. So go ahead and like his Facebooks, his Twitters, and all of that so you can be super hipster about it. Local filmmaker, sportsman, outdoor enthusiast, a new business partner of mine. Please, warm welcome to Joe Stone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Gotta say thanks to Mike for that really awesome introduction. It was extremely fun and comedy. So I just wanted to give you guys a little history about myself. I have not always been sitting in a wheelchair. In fact, it only happened about 4.5 years ago, which for some of you thinking, man, 4 years sitting in a chair, that's a long time. In reality, it's a very short time. And I look at myself more as a baby in a chair than anything else. But I was injured about, like I said, 4.5 years ago on Mount Jumbo here in town doing a sport called speed flying, which is essentially flying small skydiving parachutes off of mountains. I was up about 200 feet, doing some risky maneuvers, made some mistakes, went spiraling down to the ground at about 50 miles an hour and crashed right on my back. I was flying alone that day, extremely lucky to have survived, and even more lucky to have had an individual on the mountain who not only was about 100 feet away from me and happened to be the only one with a cell phone on the mountain, but he was also a trained EMT. So we got a life flight going, did everything he knew to do to keep me alive. In between him, ambulance services, firefighting team, and the life flight team, not to mention everybody at St. Pat's Hospital after the fact, they kept me alive to be here in front of you folks today. Absolutely amazing. So none of that is actually in my memory. I don't remember any of it. In fact, my memory doesn't start until about a month later when I woke up from my coma. And I gotta tell you, when I woke up into my worst nightmare. I've been saying my whole life that if I ever end up with a spinal cord injury, I'd rather be dead than live a life using a wheelchair. I said it a lot. And it was a real fear of mine. And to wake up into that was terrifying. And there was a lot of times that I laid there in bed thinking, when am I gonna wake up from this dream? And every single time that kind of hit me again, this isn't a dream, this is reality, this is the life I'm gonna be living. And if you'd asked me at that point what that life would be, I would have told you I've been living in a nursing home 100% dependent on everyone around me. And that's simply because I had no idea what the possibilities were in this situation. So you can imagine that's a pretty dark time for me. But after about 3 months of being in the hospital, I noticed hand cycling. I did some research and I found it on the internet. There's a guy hand cycling in the woods, in the mountains, on trails, like what I used to do before my accident. And right there, that was the spark of something. I didn't know what it was gonna bring, but I knew that now there's a way for me to get in the mountains, which means I can, in some way, get my life back. So now I just need to do whatever it takes to get myself onto that bike and get back and enjoy the mountains. So as time went on, in that first year, I started noticing other things around me. I noticed that the hospital I was at was really, really amazing at getting me to the point to be able to put my pants on. But they did nothing to really tell me what life was gonna be like and how to really live a fulfilling life after something like this happens. And that was just kind of the start of kind of the gaps I was seeing in the system. And then I got to a point where I regained my independence about 7 months after my accident. And by independence, I say simply being able to get up and get dressed and ready for the day, nothing more. And I set a goal. I remember telling Amy about it. I want to get on a hand cycle, and I want to bike the Going to the Sun Road. And not only do I want to do that, but I want to do it one day before the 1 year anniversary of my accident. And so we got to the point where I finally got to get in on the hand cycle. I hadn't even seen them in person yet. I got on it and I tried it, and I had 3 months. And I trained harder than I've ever trained in my entire life and learned more about myself and about my community in that process than I ever could have imagined. And I ended up one day before the 1 year anniversary biking up to the top of Logan Pass. And it was the most amazing, amazing experience of my life. And that, what it really did for me was it told me that my life is limitless. I just need to figure out new ways to do things. And in that same process, I started realizing that I'm not alone in this situation. We need to do more things for our community so that these kind of opportunities, I had an amazing support system. I looked at people around me in the hospital and they didn't. There was nobody coming in to see them. So the ideas kind of got started. We want to do something to help the disabled community. We want to do something to open up the outdoors for people with disabilities. And in that same process, create some social change in the way that people view people with disabilities. And I really feel my most powerful way to approach that is through recreation. Because if somebody sees me or somebody like me with a disability crossing a finish line of a big race that is filled with able-bodied people, my hope is that the individuals watching are going to say, wow, if that person can do that, I wonder what else they can do in their life. And hopefully get society to look at us a little bit different, but at the same time help the individual. Because if that individual can go out and accomplish something they wanted to do that maybe they didn't think they'd ever be able to do, then they're going to build their own confidence. They're going to be more productive in their community. They're going to get out in their community more, get a job, and be just like everyone else. And so we started the Joe Stone Foundation. And its mission is to provide outdoor recreation for people with disabilities in hopes to raise the quality of their life. And it's been just the most meaningful journey for me since that point to start doing this. We've been doing it for a little over a year, and our last year was filled with nothing but passion, motivation, and people willing to help us out because they believed in the cause. And it was, honestly, I have a hard time saying this sometimes, that I have better times now than I had before my accident. But this has been the most rewarding time of my life about helping other people get out there and accomplish this. And a really special part about this is we've actually filmed the entire process. And we're working very hard right now, editing, to finish a documentary called It's Raining, So What? Which is about my story, but it's also about a lot of other people's stories and the struggles they've been through and how they've pushed beyond their own perceived limitations and found themselves in a very high quality of life. And we can't wait to share this with all of you. It's going to be an amazing film, a film for anyone and everyone. And we're excited to release it. Like I said, we're in the editing phase now. We've been filming for about 3.5 years to create this project. So I'm sure all of you are here to see films, not necessarily listen to Joe Stone talk. So we put a 5-minute piece together to show you what we're doing with the foundation, to give you an idea of what it looks like through the perspective of somebody with a disability, getting outside, enjoying life, and enjoying what Montana has to offer. And it's been, looking back on it, it's just a beautiful thing to see, all the smiles on the faces. So I won't take up any more of your time. I'd rather you watch to see what's gone on in the last year. So thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the show. And I do just want to say one last thing. I gotta thank the Big Sky Film Festival for everything they're doing for including people with disabilities in this. It's huge. We're part of this community, and we feel included within it, with this. Being included is a special thing, especially when you feel like you've lost it. I gotta say thanks to Kevin May in this audience, who is the producer of the documentary It's Raining, So What? And he has taken my life, this film, and my motivation and passion towards everything we're doing and taking it to a whole new level. But most importantly, I gotta thank Amy Rosendahl. She's the love of my life, the most beautiful person I know, and I would not be here without all the support. Yeah, I don't even know why she stuck by my side. I've given her nothing but troubles, but for some reason she has, and it's been, we both learned a lot about each other along the way. So without taking up any more time, I hope you enjoy the 5-minute piece and the rest of what the film festival has to offer. Thank you all very much.